Hello everyone, this is Marine for lawnfawn, and I am back today with a new super cute and extra busy little scene showcasing the lovely mice from It's a Bird. If you've been following me and my projects for a while, you know that I like to take the mouse family on adventures, and this new set definitely calls for jungle, tropical, savanna scenes, which are my favorite scenes to create. And on this modified shutter card, the mouse family meets with the largest creatures that ever lived on this planet. So to make this card, we need It's a Bird and Heart Tree for the birds, mice and one of the small greetings, the cute and friendly dinosaurs, volcano, paw print and a greeting from RAWRSOME, the trees, rocks, flowers and grass from the kanga-rrific add-on, a speech bubble from all the speech bubbles. We have the shutter card die set, the second largest stitched scalloped circle frame die, and the second largest small stitched circle stackable die, and those two papers from the Bitsy Blooms 6x6 paper pack. So I am going to start with the coloring. As always, I stamped my images on Nina Solar White cardstock using lawnfawn jet black ink. I used the coordinating dies to cut them all, and I am going to color everything with my Ohuhu markers and my graphite brush markers. Obviously lots of greens and browns for the trees and mice, neutrals for the dinosaurs, and some pops of colors with the flowers, birds and volcano. My first idea for this card was to use a slimline panel. When I make a busy scene, that's usually the size I am going for. But I needed even more space to fit all the trees and the dinosaurs that are pretty big. So that's why I went for a shutter card, which is wide and tall enough to take all my images and allow me to create the scene I had in mind. So the coloring is done. I added highlights and details to the images using a white gel pen, and I am going to set them aside while we create the landscape. I cut my shutter panel out of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock, and as you can see, I've already made a few pencil marks on the edges to help me divide the panel in different sections. And since I don't need the tabs at the top and at the bottom, I am just going to trim them off. I placed the panel on my grip mat to keep it still, and I am going to create a grass border along the bottom edge of my panel. I am using the slimline grassy stencil, and for this grass border, I am going for a dark green using mowed lawn and rustic wilderness oxidings. As always, I am applying the light shade first. Next, I am adding the darker shade, and then I am mixing the colors with my light blending tool. Right above the grass border, we are going to create a hill border using a slimline hillside stencil. And to bring contrast and more interest, I am going for a lighter green combination using shabby shutters and mowed lawn oxidings. Now we need something different to kind of break all this green. So how about a sand or dirt border? I am using a slimline hillside stencil again with antique linen and vintage photo oxidings to create that dusty border. Right above that sand border, I am going to add one more grass border following the same curves as the sand border. And to call the bottom grass border to mind, I am using mowed lawn and rustic wilderness oxidings again to color this last border. Now we need to create the sky, and I am going to use my go-to and favorite combination to do that. I am using a slimline cloudy stencil along with salvaged patina and peacock feathers oxidings. So now that I am done with all the inking, I am just going to add white ink splatters all over the panel. This will bring brightness and contrast. And then I will set my panel aside to dry. And thanks to the editing, my panel is already dry. So I am going to fold each flap on both sides. I am using my bone folder to press really well on the paper, and I am making sure that both flaps are lined up. So for the front of the card, I cut those two bitsy blooms panels using the shutter card main die. I also created another landscape on a circle panel, and I cut a light brown wood grain circle frame to go on the circle. So first thing first, let's attach those bitsy blooms panels using liquid glue. To keep the card closed, I cut those two stripes out of textured cardstock. I added double-sided tape on the tabs. I am folding those tabs really well with my bone folder. I am going to assemble both stripes, just like so, and then wrap them around my shutter card and attach the remaining tab to create a sleeve to slide my panel in and out. Now we can stick the circle panel right in the middle of the sleeve and then the scalloped circle frame on the circle using liquid glue again. And one more thing before we attach the images. I cut two more bitsy blooms panels using another die from the shutter card die set. This will add more interest to the front of the card, but in a subtle way with a tone-on-tone look. And now it is my favorite part of the process. I am going to stick all the images using 1mm and 2mm foam squares mostly. First, I am attaching some images on the circle with the cute mouse looking for the way to the dinosaurs. And then I will fill the inside of the shutter panel with all the other images. And to make sure that my shutter card can close easily, I will make sure to keep the images away from the folds. And that's it, we are done, and I love it so much. I love how the front of the card with that paw print sign gives you a hint to what you will find on the inside. I really love the final result, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a dynamite day and see you next time. Bye!